Sponsored by Backblaze. Get peace of mind knowing your files are backed up securely in the cloud with Backblaze. Alright, we're back, guys, talking about this sleep-wake issue. I talked about this before, and I thought I fixed it. Keyword, thought, but I didn't. But thanks to you guys, I think I now know the culprit. So let's diagnose this sucker. In my head, this idea is genius and it will work. It has something selected, but there's no version number or date. I'm gonna have to Google this quick. Hey guys, how are you all doing? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Krazy Ken, and I want to thank everybody, first before we begin, for checking out the channel and watching. I've been noticing an increase in subscribers and viewers recently, and that's awesome. And if you've seen my other show, Tech Talk, before, I just want to let you know, this is my second show. This is Tech Misadventures. This is more unscripted, off-the-cuff kind of experimental type stuff, so it's a little bit different, but it's still Krazy Ken, and I hope you enjoy it just as much. So, today, I'm doing a follow-up to an episode I published earlier about the sleep-wake crash that this computer's been experiencing. If you have not seen that part first, I highly recommend checking that out before you watch this one. But if you want to watch them out of order, that's okay too. Hell, I watched the Dark Knight trilogy out of order. I watched The Dark Knight Rises, and then Batman Begins, and then The Dark Knight. Don't ask me why, that's just what happened. So, I nuked the SSD, and I did a complete reinstall of the operating system. And at the end of the episode, I ran a test, and it was fine. But then, a few days later, the issue happened again. And to quickly summarize what the issue is, when the computer is in sleep mode, it will crash. Sometimes it'll completely shut down and it won't, I'll lift the lid and it won't turn back on until I press a button and then it goes to the boot up screen. Sometimes it just reboots when it's closed. Like sometimes it'll be closed in sleep mode and it will just bong and start booting back up again while I'm not even touching it. So something is causing it to crash while it's sleeping. And originally, the battery in here was like about 7 years old, so I thought, okay, maybe it's just losing charge, right? So I spent $250 to replace the battery. Machinician did a really great job. Their turnaround time was like less than a day. They were crazy fast. But it turns out, even with a new battery, the issue still happened. So the battery wasn't the problem, but hey, it's good to have a fresh battery anyway. So what was the issue? I thought maybe it was some sort of driver issue, perhaps, because what happened was, even longer ago, I did an SSD upgrade with this thing. Go ahead and check that episode out as well. So I have it in here, and actually, well, this is the original SSD. I bought an OWC Aura SSD. This is the X2, and in here is the original SSD that came in the computer. It's a Samsung SSD, and when I installed it, and talked about this crashing issue, some people were saying, hey, it could be a driver issue with the NVMe compatibility. That's the interface that this uses. And some people said that like Big Sur might fix the issue, so I upgraded this thing. This is just a screenshot of it running Catalina, but I upgraded it to Big Sur, and it didn't fix the issue. So I kept digging through the YouTube comments. Thanks again, guys, for helping me troubleshoot. The culprit is this. It's the frickin' SSD. And I hate saying that because I like OWC. I've never had a problem with any of their stuff. I have their RAM in my iMac and it's perfect. It's never had a problem ever. But I guess sometimes when you just mix some newer third-party stuff with 7-year-old hardware, you're gonna get some issues. So I looked through the comments and I found a link that said, hey, if you have this SSD in your computer and it's having sleep problems, there's a simple trick you can do. The trick was just to turn off standby mode. So apparently when a Mac, at least with this particular Mac, not sure about all of them, when it's in sleep mode for 3 hours, it goes into an even lower power state called standby. And I guess it going into standby is when the system was crashing. So I used a simple terminal trick. It was pmset-a standby 0. So this is a power management setting command that applies to all, and then we set the standby to 0, which means we turn off standby mode completely, and then sudo just gives us the privileges to be able to execute this. Did it work? So far, yes. I ran the command, and I put the computer into sleep mode for 3 hours. It was actually about 3.5 hours, and I woke it, and it was fine. It seems like that simple terminal command fixed the issue. But here's the thing. I'm a little picky. I'm not 100% satisfied with this outcome. It's a great fix. To be honest, I'd much rather at this point put the original SSD back in. Well, why, Ken? You just upgraded it a few months ago. I know, but that was before I had my new iMac. This is not my daily driver anymore. I don't need a 1 terabyte drive in it. I'm cool with the original 512. So I'm gonna put this back in here, at least temporarily, and I'll just save this other OWC SSD for a rainy day. And I'm actually open to recommendations. If anyone has other recommendations for SSDs, let me know. We're gonna bust out magnets. We're gonna bust out the iFixit kit, bust this thing open, and do a drive upgrade. It's more of a downgrade, really. And then we'll restore the operating system from my Time Machine backup. I ran that from scratch just to make sure everything was backed up, and it finished super quickly. I always recommend having a backup because you never know what's gonna happen. And that's why I partnered with Backblaze, because they help you back up your data. You don't wanna lose that stuff. You gotta always have a backup. So that's important. So we have the Time Machine backup. We'll restore that after we do the swap. Let's go. This is just like old times where I never showed my face in the Krazy Ken show. Hey, yeah, times are different now. So let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open. I'm expecting it to be dusty. We'll wipe it out a little bit. I actually don't have any compressed air. Okay, prepare for dustiness. These are a little, there we go. And the lid's not too bad, but yeah, we'll give that a little cleaning action there. And there we go, there's the inside. So here's a look at that newer tech battery. Again, Machnician installed this like super quick, minus the quick shipping time. The turnaround time was like half a business day, like they were fast. So yeah, the battery works great. I probably didn't actually need to replace it, but hey, this son of a is the culprit. We need to take this sucker out. So, T5. Hooray, I nailed that. All right. Small victories. Okay, so then I think you just kind of lightly pull it out of the slot. There we go. This SOB has been making my field computer act like shit. And we're just gonna set you off to the side for now. And then we'll do a dusting with my professional t-shirt. But hey, if you don't have just a pile of t-shirts you can use as rags, you're lying. So there we go, that looks much cleaner. And now we'll do the inside. And that, my friends, is good enough for government work. Especially with how little I actually use this computer now that I have my iMac. And you might notice I have some gaffer tape here. I don't know if it's just because this battery is thinner than the stock one, but when I got it back from the repair place, it was like a little jiggly. Like I was rotating my laptop and like I could feel a little bit of a shift on the inside. And yeah, it was the battery. So I just put some of that on here and now it doesn't move at all. Now we need to get back the good guy, which is our, dude, people tell me I'm like Linus all the time. I drop stuff. Seriously though, this container though does not hold itself shut. It just falls open. There's like zero friction happening here. This is the original SSD, a Samsung SSD that came with this computer. It is a 512 gig, which will be fine. And we're gonna do the swap. There we go. Just make sure, give it a little extra nudge, it's in place. Okay, it doesn't help that I have shaky hands. I naturally have shaky hands. I think I brought it up with my doctor. Let's get the lid back in place, and we'll switch from the T5 back to the Pentalobe. By the way, hey, to kill some time while I'm screwing stuff in, did you know I have a podcast now? It's the behind-the-scenes autobiography of this YouTube channel, because the Computer Clan YouTube channel has been around for over 13 years, making it one of the longest-running tech YouTube channels in history. So I have some cool stories and life lessons to share. And I'll talk about stuff that's like way old, way in the past, like humble beginnings. And I'll also talk about recent projects too, and elaborate like on the behind-the-scenes stories of how projects came together and like what the video shoots were like and stuff like that. So it's really fun. So go ahead and check it out. It's called No Cameras Allowed. It's on a bunch of platforms. So go ahead and enjoy. Okay, so then what's gonna have to happen after this is we'll do a restore. I'm not sure what kind of restore I wanna do, but we're gonna find out. This is Krazy Ken. The Krazy Ken curse is real. Stuff does break. Even Especially when you think, oh no, this can't possibly go wrong. Yeah, it goes wrong. Murphy's Law doesn't stand a chance to the Krazy Ken curse. The Krazy Ken curse is Murphy's Law on steroids. Okay, so the SSD is back in here. It is put back together. I honestly have no idea what is like even on here. I don't remember if I wiped out the SSD or not, but we're gonna boot into Recovery OS and then start the restore. Oh, apparently there's a Windows system on here. Well, now we know that. All right, so we're going into recovery mode. Now, my Time Machine backup was of Big Sur, which is a newer operating system than what's on here currently. So I'm thinking we'll just format the entire drive and then do a direct restore with the Time Machine feature. So here we go. We're gonna go to Disk Utility here. This shows Mojave. I'm guessing, yeah, this is back when I had Mojave on here. That was a version before Catalina, and then Big Sur is a version after Catalina. So this is probably running a system that's 2 years older than what's on the backup. So if that's really the case, then we're just gonna start fresh. Let's show everything and just erase it all. Call it untitled. I don't care. Okay, the erase actually was successful. I don't always have the greatest luck with Disk Utility. I'll usually miss a button or some stupid thing that'll give me an error. Anyway, we're gonna plug in the Time Machine drive now. Hopefully this will just let us do it, even though it's a newer version of macOS. So let's see, restore from Time Machine. I haven't done this in a long time, but we're gonna do it anyway, because we like to live dangerously. So Sakama is the code name for this drive, I guess. Okay. It has something selected, but there's no version number or date. Well, I don't know what to make of that. Let's just press continue and see what happens. Are you sure you want to restore the disk Sakama to its snapshotted state from null? All right. I guess we're gonna say continue. And pray that it works. I'm guessing it's just too new for it to understand the name of the snapshot, I guess. Because again, this is like a 2-year newer operating system that the backup has compared to what... it should not be that fast. Oh, crap. It's probably just gonna give us an error, like the Ghostbusters or a question mark, because there's no way it restored the system that quick. Something is wrong. Yeah. Okay, so it's not compatible with this Time Machine backup. So my theory, well, not really a theory. My idea is we get the operating system reinstalled on here, and then we upgrade it to Big Sur, and then we restore the backup through the migration assistant. So I guess we'll have to go that route anyway. I wanted to avoid that because it's extra steps, but it might be the only option right now because the backup is just too new for the thing to understand. So let's go into recovery mode. It's probably going to default to internet recovery mode because we nuked the SSD. There it goes. So this will pull down a frick on a stick. I hope it pulls down a newer version of the system and not an old version that shipped with this computer. And yes, we are stuck with an old version of macOS 10 because it pulled an old copy from the cloud. So I thought there was another shortcut for like a certain type of internet recovery. I'm gonna have to Google this quick. It's just Option Command R for this different version of internet recovery. So let's try that out and see if that works. Okay, let's try this version and see if that helps. Oh, you've gotta be freaking kidding me. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna build a Big Sur installer. All right, so I'm just gonna download macOS Big Sur here, and now I'm gonna run the create install media command, which Apple provides, and it will make this drive bootable. It's erasing, copying, and done. All right, so now this awesome external SSD has a Big Sur installer and the Time Machine backup on 2 separate partitions. So in my head, this idea is genius and it will work, but hey, we all know how today has been going, right? So we're gonna boot into this, and there's install macOS Big Sur. Perfect. So far, so good. And we'll continue there. Read the agreement, the license agreement. Yes, I agree. We're good to go there. Choose the drive, continue. We're not connected to a power source, but we have 58%. That should be plenty. We're installing this off an SSD, so it should be pretty quick. It'll do this part and it will reboot, 900 times and do its thing. So then hopefully we can restore from the Time Machine backup. So we'll just let it run. And we're in the next part of the installation now, about 19 minutes remaining. Boy, if I had a nickel for every time I've seen this screen, particularly on this computer, I'd have a ton of nickels. I am also plugging in power, because I'm not screwing with the Krazy Ken curse anymore. I've had enough of that today. Okay, that felt way quicker than 20 minutes, but here we are in Big Sur. And I absolutely love the setup screen. It's way more colorful than the normal gray background they always give you. So this is nice. Yes, from a Mac Time Machine backup, let's do that. Hopefully this works. It should be able to find Sakuma. Perfect. And there we go. See, this was the problem earlier. It did not show any of the name or date information, so something just got messed up. I guess it was just incompatible with the recovery system. So I did a backup January 7th. That looks correct. Okay, we got applications, my username, other files and folders, system and network, pretty much everything. You know, it's a field computer, so it doesn't have all of the stuff I normally need. Hey, there we go. It's gonna bounce back and forth a bit. Transferred 0 files. Yes, I will call that a successful day. There we go. 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. I'll be back in a sec. I'm sure you don't want to watch this whole thing. Okay, apparently it's done. I just checked in right when it was doing the countdown. That was way faster than I thought it was going to be. There's the bong. Okay, migration complete. Fan-frickin-tastic. So we still have to do one final test. We will have to put this thing into sleep mode for several hours just to rule out any other variables here. And hopefully that's all we need to do. If it wakes up fine, even with standby mode, then okay, I'll put this thing into sleep and I'll check on it in 4 or 5 hours or so. And if it wakes up just fine, well then I think we can safely assume the SSD was the problem. Shoot, I almost forgot. We need to disconnect the power because this issue never happened while plugged in. It only happened on battery, which is another reason why I thought it was the battery that was the problem, but it's probably the SSD. All right, we'll check in with you in about 5 hours or so, Mac. Sleep tight. Unless I pass out. Then we'll check in with you tomorrow. Before we do the final test quick, I just want to take a moment and talk about our awesome sponsor today, Backblaze, because you never know when you might need to restore your personal data. The amount of people I talk to who tell me they don't have a backup of their data is a little scary, but it's okay. I mean, not everybody understands that computers are great, but they also can suck sometimes, and hard drives can crash and your data can be lost. And could you just imagine all of your work, your photos, your memories, everything you've worked on just gone? Like, that would be horrible. But the good news is you know about that now and you can be proactive. And the best way to prevent yourself from data loss is always have a backup. And even better, an off-site backup. And that's where Backblaze comes in. Backblaze offers computer backups for only $6 a month, and you can restore your data anywhere with direct downloads from their web app. Heck, Backblaze will even overnight ship you a hard drive with all of your data on it if you need to restore a lot of stuff. And for an extra $2 a month, your file retention history will increase to 1 year. So if you accidentally delete something, you have up to a year to retrieve it. So visit backblaze.com/computerclan for a free, fully featured 15-day trial, no credit card required, and start protecting yourself from data loss. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, everybody, it's the moment of truth. I've actually been letting it sit for, I'd say, about 20 hours. So now we will see if this is a more permanent solution to prevent that sleep-wake crash from happening. Here we go. 1, 2, E3. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. Hey, perfect. It worked. It actually woke up pretty darn quick. It unlocked with my Apple Watch automatically, so that setting transferred over, it seems. This is perfect. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep this SSD in here, but I'm open to suggestions if anybody knows of any other compatible SSDs with this 2013 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro. I'm open to suggestions, but I'm satisfied with this one. All right. We did it, guys. We kicked the Krazy Ken curse's ass. Oh, enjoy that, because that doesn't happen too often. Good. I'll be able to use this computer a little more easily now. All right, guys. Well, thanks for sticking with me on this one. I think together our positive energy helped fix this issue. On to the next one. We'll see what crashes next time. Hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for sticking with me. Catch the crazy and pass it on.